All right, Kenman here, and today is going to be an interesting unboxing. Not, I repeat, not for the scale die process. Wait, what? Huh? What's this? All right, well, exciting. Let's do it. Before we start, I am not sponsored by anyone, and I purchase everything at retail price. I do these videos because I love discussing knives and sharing info and ideas with others. If you have any questions or thoughts, please feel free to comment below. Okay, got another great sale kind of deal on Amazon. I was looking at some specific features on this particular one, and I thought, all right, might as well try it out. See what you think. It's the only way to know. And today is a CJRB. I have several CJRBs. I've been happy with all of them. It's a good company. They make some cool stuff. And it's the particular lock style on this one that made me really interested in it. And so here we are. Anyone know what I'm talking about yet? Just by saying lock, what we're referring to? Well, it is the Recoil Lock is what it's called. And this is the CJRB Crag. They make this in a few versions. This is the one that does have that recoil lock that we are all about today. And we'll see what we think about it. It should be a good ambidextrous lock. And here we are. So this is the CJRB Crag. All right. It's got this flipper tab hidden right behind the lock mechanism. Let's go ahead and didn't click it the whole way the first try. That's okay. So what are we looking at? We have an AR RPM 9 blade with a cool, I don't know what kind of, I don't want to get in the blade shape police here, kind of a sheep's foot, kind of a cleavery kind of a blade. But yeah, it's got the AR RPM 9. Here is the lock. Let's see. It's kind of like a, there it is. Interesting. That's going to take a little bit to mess around with here. All right, there's the flipper tab. So it's got a standard flipper tab. And then the way the lock works is it's like this too. It's like a crossbar lock. It's kind of hard to grab a hold of. All right, but then you can whip it down. So I should be able to pull that crossbar lock and whip it out too. It's kind of tough to get a hold of. It's going to take a little bit of getting used to. I feel like I need to put my pinky on that pocket clip in order to help close it. Sometimes that pocket clip helps you able to grab things. I know on front flippers I've said that definitely helps. But all right, let's take a look at this. This is the CJRB Crag. Good looking knife. Got a nice size to it. It's got that G10 handle. It's got this little accent of the gold that goes around the pivot. That's a nice little touch. They've got that on another one we'll look at in a second on the CJRB's done that before. A little bit of the branding right there. Saying the blade type, CJRB. Other than that, it's a pretty clean look. You can put the pocket clip on the other side. So that's nice for the lefty like me. Now can you, okay, so you can kind of push it down like that. Flipper tab. And so if I push with my index finger hard enough here, there it is. That's that lock. Huh. So that's the recoil lock. It's going to take me a little bit of getting used to. Like I said, it feels kind of weird. It's a little tight, and I'm not really familiar with it. So it's going to take that kind of learning curve. I also have, I injured this finger on my 3D printer a while back, so pushing down on my index finger on my left hand sometimes kind of can be difficult. Let's see if I can do it with my middle. There you go. God, I keep wanting to look for something else. It's only a flipper tab Otherwise, unless you can find a way to deploy that lock like that, you can get that to open. All right, that's something. We're getting there. Little learning curve on that, but interesting. It's got some weight to it. It's definitely a beefier, kind of heavier knife. Blade is solid, doesn't move in any direction there. We're going to bring that back down. It is centered nicely. It's got a good feel. It's good size. That flipper, I feel like I have to kind of put a little extra pressure to get her to go. Fits in my hand nice, so it's a full size knife. It's got a good shape, good feel to the handle. The G10's got a little texture on it. It's got that good grippy feel to it. There's no jimping, but where that lock is, I feel like I can kind of push my thumb, ride my thumb up against that. I wonder if you could, you can kind of do that though. Feels like it's kind of tight though. If you're not pulling it, it's kind of like a crossbar lock. So if I were to bring it like that and not have it engaged, it's kind of tight. Like it wants to be engaged to drop. Okay. All right. What does everyone think about this? Who's got one of these? Anybody have a Crag that doesn't have this lock? You can also get one. I believe it's got must have a liner lock to it. So they sell it in a few different styles. Oh, I've got my angle set up wrong today. I'm getting this little square. I got to make sure I pay attention to that when I set up my lights. Yeah, CJRB. Let's get out some of my other CJRBs. I got the CJRB Riff, which is a button lock. They're very comparable in size. Let's just do that real quick. I consider the Riff to be a beefy knife. These two have a very similar handle, size, shape. This might kind of curve a little bit more. This has got that secondary bump. But realistically, I consider the Riff to be a beefy boy. And nice drop. They are comparable, very comparable. The most popular would be the Pyrite. You can definitely tell it's smaller than the Pyrite. It's probably more comparable to, they do make a Pyrite in the large. I'd like to get myself one of those at some point. It's going to be probably similar to that. Here's the Echo, which is very similar to the Pyrite. It's a little bit larger than that. I'll put them all side by side here in a second. And here is the Feldspar. This is the other one that has that gold accent. So they got that nice little gold touch. That's kind of a neat little style it gives to it. And we've got the Gobi that's got more of an orange. Getting a weird focus, sorry there. So let's go ahead and put these here. Get all my CJRBs out for a second. Boom, 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 boom. How's that look, huh? Growing my CJRB catalog. I like them as a company. What does everybody else think about them? They do make some really good stuff. I have had literally zero issues with any of these other than the Echo. I really like the Echo button lock. It's got the front flipper. Very cool knife. Underrated knife, I've said before, because when the Pyrite came out, it's like they went hard on the Pyrite and this kind of disappeared. But I got this one in the titanium. And I bought the titanium clip, and so I removed the original clip, put this titanium one on, and it just has a little bit too much flex, I guess I would say. So when it's in the pocket, it can slide. So like if my seam in my pocket is like right here, it can like slide in this little position like that. And so then it feels like it's kind of wanting to slip around and not stay still, if that makes sense. And it makes me kind of less comfortable when I carry it. And I mean, I like it to just be stable. And I'm not saying I'm a huge fan of the other pocket clips that they make. It appears that pretty much all the other ones that they, all my other ones have this exact same clip, it looks like. And And like I said, it may not be my favorite clip design or whatever, but I don't really have too many issues with it. It works pretty good, and it's solid and it's stable. So I consider putting the other one back on there, but it'd be nice because it's the titanium kind of showier version that I've got that milled titanium clip on there. But other than that, I haven't had really any complaints about anything from the CJRB line. Some scale die projects that I'm doing. This one was jade, just like that Gobi is, and we did it in this blue. I think it turned out really nice. It kind of made the contour lines look like almost like a wood grain. But I'm going to keep doing some scale die videos. If you're interested, I got a playlist. You can check that out. But they're fun, and you can take a knife like this with this jade handle. I take it apart, die the scales, and put it back together. And so you get to see the full process start to finish and see what you can do with some custom stuff with some knives, and it's kind of fun. Yeah, so CJRB, making some neat stuff. Pretty happy with, like I said, the line. Get these all out of the way for a second here and go back to our original purpose. I like to hijack my videos, and pretty good at it, I guess. But yeah, so this CJRB Crag with the recoil lock that you have to squeeze the lock down and the knife will drop. It's got the flipper tab that I still am having some troubles with. I guess I gotta put a little more oomph into it, or maybe I need to consider, taking it apart and messing around with the action a little bit and dialing it in. Sometimes you get knives, they require a little break-in period where they just don't flip out great at the beginning because they need to just kind of get worked in a little bit, and after you open and close them a bunch of times, they start kind of becoming more smooth and workable. This, I'm already kind of getting used to it. What does everyone think about that lock, that recoil lock? I suppose what I can do is what it reminds me of, because it's an ambidextrous lock. It's kind of like the old, like on my SOG, it's got the crossbar lock that's got that same kind of action where you squeeze down to lock it. But this SOG one, man, it's got really nice action. It's got the flipper tab. You can just open it with that. But it has that same kind of a style, except for being right here, they've gone ahead and moved it out. It's like two little bumps, like thumb studs, but it's also on the very end. So they're kind of doing like the Demko with the Sharklock, where it's got this right here where you're kind of pushing down. It's kind of the same thing where I'm pushing down. So in a way, you can say this is kind of like taking that crossbar lock and the Sharklock and combining them into a new style lock, which is the Recoil Lock. We've also got the Civivi Vision FG. It has the Superlock, which is on the back, which is that same kind of action. That's kind of why I'm kind of pulling all these out right here. They have this very similar ambidextrous feature with this lock in the back. See where I've got that? Boom. So it's a little tight. Got to work that in. But this is probably my favorite knife right here. The 20.5 by Demko. It's just beautiful. It works great. I love the hole. This is probably a close second. The Vision FG. I had some problems with the thumb stud at first. I took it apart. This was part of my scale die project. That's why it's red. This one I got it was white. But I had problems with the thumb stud on this one where I would get a lot of fails, and I didn't really think to adjust it. And now that I have adjusted it because I took it apart, it works fantastic. So getting back to what I was talking about with this is maybe that little flipper tab, if I make a couple little adjustments, I won't have as many of these little V's like this where I'm not really getting enough action to it to get it to come out. Maybe it's just a little tight. And if I just loosen that just a little bit, that might be all it needs to make this thing have a really nice action to it. But I think there's also a learning curve. That is pretty neat that I can do that with that one finger. I did notice some people were saying that they didn't like that because they felt like they needed to use two like this to make it work. And you can do that, and it does feel like that crossbar lock action. Okay. Right? Now we're getting somewhere. I'm going to have to do a mess around with it for a while and make another video with an update. What's everyone think about that? Would you like to see that? I know some people they'll make their unboxing video and then they'll do an actual review video later, since they can't really fully review it right away. Kind of want to carry it a few days, maybe put the pocket clip on the other side for me, and I feel like I can't grab this and pull it down. The same with my left hand right now because I don't have that pinky. See, I'm kind of doing that and I'm gripping on there, and it makes it really easy to kind of just do that. And with my left, I can't do that as much. I want to wrap my pinky around, but you don't want to do that because now the blade's going to be coming down on your finger. Luckily though, I can index finger it. Even with my bad index finger, I can get that to actuate like that. And that's not so bad. That really gives me that Vision FG or Demko kind of a feel. So that's neat. I'm actually glad I picked this up, that Recoil Lock, the CJRB Crag. Yeah, that's a neat knife. What's everyone think? Pretty happy about it? I'm happy about it. Liking the videos. Kind of swayed off of the scale die project for a minute. Got a knife here. Was just wanting it for the knife, for the lock. Kind of check out something else there that's kind of in that ambidextrous, left-handed, compatible kind of a world that I'm in. And I'm happy I did it. Jeez. Well, that is going to be it for today. If you enjoy what you see, hit that like button and subscribe to see more. It helps me out, and I really appreciate it. Stay sharp, and we'll see you next time.